We would like to remind the audience members that eating, drinking, smoking, flash photography, and the use of any recording and other electronic devices are strictly prohibited inside the theater. In case of an emergency, please remain calm. Our ushers and emergency personnel are trained to escort you out of the theater. Please take a moment to locate the emergency exits nearest to you. Thank you.
Gentlemen, the class of 2023 of the Ateneo de Manila University School of Law. Ladies and gentlemen, the administrators and faculty members of the Ateneo de Manila University School of Law. Please all rise. The President of the Ateneo de Manila University, his party, the flags of our nation, and the university.
Please remain standing for the Philippine National Anthem, which will be followed by the invocation.
Magiliw, pelas ang sinanganan, alam ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupig, di ka pasisihin. Sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bukaw, may nilagang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagdidingding, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng walhating pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pag may makaapi, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Baba! Sagisan! Salam! Sagisan!
In omnibus amare, in omnibus servire, in omnibus amare et servire, Domino, in everything love and serve the Lord. In omnibus amare et servire, Domino, in everything love and serve the Lord.
Please be seated as Dean Jose Maria Hofelena, Dean of the Ateneo de Manila University School of Law, formally opens these commencement exercises.
Today, the 23rd day of July, in the year of our Lord, 2023, on the 164th year since the founding of the Ateneo de Manila University, before the President and representatives of the university, faculty, administrators, staff, students, alumni, parents, and guests, I formally open our academic program on the occasion of the 77th commencement exercises of the Ateneo de Manila University School of Law. The 77th commencement exercises of the Ateneo de Manila University School of Law will now begin.
Dean Hofelena will now present the valedictorian of the Ateneo Law School class of 2023.
The valedictorian of class 2023 is Janelle Nathalie Ang Ko. I would like to ask Janelle Nathalie Ang Ko to come up and deliver her valedictory.
Good afternoon, everyone. Distinguished faculty and administrators of the Ateneo, Registrar Reyes, Dean Gonzaga, Dean Valente, Dean Hofilenia, Dean Tuaño, Chairperson C, VP Vilches, Father Bobby Yap, and Justice Hernando, and the class of 2023, friends, loved ones, and family members. I am honored and humbled to represent the graduating class of 2023 today, and today marks the finale of our journey here at the Ateneo Law School. In 2019, each of us fumbled our ways into the Ateneo Law School with our set of goals and aspirations, whether the reason is to represent the underrepresented, to fulfill a childhood dream, or to simply appease our parents who are very demanding that we go to law school. The moment we decided to go and enter law school, we knew that it would be a very difficult journey, to say the least. After registration, the welcoming gift of the Ateneo was a box stuffed full of cases to read for introduction to law. But it was a foreshadowing of the days to come, but also a challenge to us all. How much and at what point do we say stop and enough? But the fact that we're here today means that we all persisted, and now we reap the benefits. So after having one semester adjusting to the rigors and demands of law school, COVID-19 interrupted everything, and the world came to a screeching halt as a whole. And many people lost their loved ones, and everyone had to adjust to the new normal. And I just don't want to say that I'm trying to equate the gravity of what the world felt with how we adjusted to online classes, because that's not how, it's nowhere near close. But we also adjusted. And perhaps because of this adjustment, the only good thing that came out of COVID was that our professors no longer had to adjust to our handwritings. What we thought was 1 week to catch up on cases for Oblicon took 2.5 years of seeing each other through the screen. And when we all came back, we all were surprised that people were shorter than they were. But I'm very, very thankful that being virtual in more than half of our law school journey did not impede us from making and forming deep and lasting friendships. So I don't want to talk about how hard law school was, because we already know that. What I want to share with you are the things that I learned about life while going through these 4 years. And I'm very sorry that they might be very cliche, but I guess they are cliche for a reason. So the first is that there's always a next step. While I was getting ready for my thesis defense, and I was panicking to the point of no return almost, my friend sent me a meme, and it was a person standing there and holding a sign saying, "Kaya mo yan, kasi wala kang choice." And that seems to be representative of my entire stay here in the law school, and I'm sure everyone can agree. The value we extract from the limited time we had grew as we developed skills and learned how to get along and how to basically how to read cases without having to read them again, for example. But as we move on to the next phase of our lives, there's really no formula and no solution to the problems of society, to the problems of life. What we can do is to develop ourselves to be better than we were before. And there is no end to the improvement. There's always that next step. And if law school taught us anything, everyone here can meet the challenges head on. And the second thing I learned is that laughter is really the best medicine. Life does not always go according to plan. Failures and mistakes are inevitable. But there's no point in wallowing. There's no point in having self-guilt. Instead, we can learn from these mistakes and be better than what we were yesterday. So don't take life too seriously, because that's a good way to age faster. The most memorable moments of law school for me were the funny recitations of my blockmates So thank you in advance for giving me material. Because law students can be very creative when we're put on the spot and we have to fumble about to get the answer somewhat correct. So at these moments, we have that we change certain words like the doctrine of last clear chance becoming the doctrine of one last chance, or the willful blindness doctrine becoming a closed eyes doctrine. But I'm very grateful for these moments because the best things in life are unscripted. And really, when we're all stressed, those points in time are the best source of release of tension. And third, gratitude puts everything into perspective. So, what I'm gonna say is very similar to what Dean Joey said. I'm guaranteeing we did not collude for this, but it's very delusional to think that we came to where we are now simply by our hard work. The old proverbs that says, "It takes a village to raise a child" is very much true. And so I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everyone who has helped us get to where we are now and who will, I'm sure, help us in the future as well. So thank you to our parents, first and foremost, family members, and friends who supported us through this law school journey. Thank you for understanding, and thank you for not getting mad when we have to cancel last-minute plans, when we always miss your phone calls, or when we have to bring our codals during dinners and maybe not listen to you all the time because we have to cram for exams. Thank you to all our professors who generously shared their time, wisdom, and expertise to help mold us to be the kind of future Atenean lawyers who are, by our words, actions, and thoughts, truly men and women for others. I would also like to personally thank Attorney Calao, my thesis advisor, Attorney Javier, and Attorney Cao for being mentors. Thank you to Dean Hofelenia, Dean Chan Gonzaga, and Dean Valente for giving us an environment that is conducive to learning and a place where most of us consider our second home. And thank you to all the members of the admin staff who stayed patient with us, even though there's hundreds of students emailing you at the same time and demanding a quick response. Finally, and most importantly, thank you to God for giving us the solace and strength when we needed it the most. I have no doubt that the graduating class will move on to do great things in the future. Nonetheless, as Ateneans, it has been instilled in us from the very first day that we are here to be men and women for others, to be service-oriented. So measure success in life not by the accolades that you may receive in the future, but by the number of people and their lives who you have influenced positively. Choose kindness over cruelty, justice over injustice, and gratitude over entitlement, having a purpose beyond self-gratification and working towards helping as many people as we can, lays the foundation. And the goal should always be to leave the earth better than when we came. All for the glory of God. Ad Maiorem Dei Gloriam, thank you and have a pleasant evening.
The commencement speaker for this afternoon will be introduced by Dean Hofelenia.
Our speaker for this year's commencement exercises for the Ateneo de Manila University School of Law's class of 2023 is the Honorable Associate Justice Ramon Paul Layugan Hernando of the Supreme Court of the Republic of the Philippines. Allow me to begin my formal introduction of Associate Justice Hernando by reciting the facts, issue, and ruling in a case involving criminal law and evidence. That case is People versus Galuga Iwadas, decided by the Supreme Court in February of 2019. In a municipality in the province of Isabela, a man was accused of having felonious carnal knowledge of a minor against her will and consent, with the alleged crime having occurred in an empty beauty salon unwitnessed by anyone. Upon the conclusion of the presentation and appraisal of the incompatible testimonies of the victim, the accused, and their respective witnesses, the trial court rendered a judgment to convict the accused, sentencing him to reclusión perpetua, a decision which was subsequently affirmed by the Court of Appeals. The issue of the case, when elevated to the Supreme Court, was simply whether or not the lower court had basis to render a guilty verdict in light of conflicting testimonial evidence. The High Court affirmed the conviction and held that the weight and credence accorded by the trial court and the Court of Appeals to the evidence should not be disturbed. For after all, the moral certainty of the lower court as to the guilt of the accused sprung from the judge's full opportunity to directly observe the demeanor, deportment, and conduct of the parties and witnesses before it. So why have I narrated this case to you? Two reasons. The first is because People versus Galuga Iwadas was the very first ponencia of Justice Hernando as an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court. I thought he might possibly be interested to be reminded of this and of the fact that we stalk him. The second reason is that this case is one among many that affirms the truism that indeed one can responsibly reach valid conclusions about the character of a person from their demeanor, from their deportment, from how they have conducted themselves. And a scrutiny of how our commencement speaker has conducted himself through his life and career choices reveals essential aspects of the character of this man as a man of service, a man of generosity, a man of the law. Associate Justice Hernando undertook his basic and secondary education in the city of Tuguegarao in Cagayan Valley and obtained his Bachelor of Arts in Literature at the University of Santo Tomas. From all indications, he was extremely eager to pursue two childhood aspirations: to become a lawyer and a teacher. As such, immediately after obtaining his college degree, Justice Hernando matriculated at San Beda College of Law and graduated therefrom in 1990. His career in the law actually began even before he was admitted to the Philippine Bar, working in the office of Supreme Court Justice Edgardo Paras, and from there, though this time already a lawyer, he clerked with the office of Supreme Court Justice Florence Regalado for the next 6 years. His path then ascendingly led him to becoming a state prosecutor, a regional trial court judge, a justice of the Court of Appeals, and in August of 2018, an associate justice of the Supreme Court, wherein, even as he is currently the High Court's youngest member, he is the third most senior associate justice. Justice Hernando's opting to embark on his legal career in government service in the early 1990s was a choice he has kept uninterruptedly faithful to. To this day, a public servant for all the 32 years and counting of his vocation in the law. And he is far from over. Parallel to his journey as a lawyer and magistrate, our speaker gave life to that other dream of his youth, to become a teacher. Upon taking his oath as a lawyer in 1992, Justice Hernando lost no time donning a concurrent persona as a teacher of the law. Since then, having educated and inspired hundreds, maybe thousands of students in 6 law schools, including, of course, our Ateneo Law School, where he was a valued member of the law faculty until he had to bid us adieu on account of his appointment to the High Court. Year in and year out, in tandem with his government service for over 25 years, Justice Hernando tirelessly taught and formed young minds and hearts, and my supposition is that he would have continued to do so to this day if there was no restriction on teaching for justices of the Supreme Court. To be sure, through his life's demeanor, his deportment, his conduct reflected by the choices he has made and his fidelity to the same, our commencement speaker reveals himself. By choosing to constitute himself a public servant and a teacher immersed in a world where the rule of law is held sacred, we have more than ample basis to adjudge him guilty of being a man for whom service to others is critical and defining. Guilty of being a man of generosity, willing to share his finite time and indivisible self with the future generations of leaders this nation is expecting, and with those who desperately seek justice. Guilty of being man of the law. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming home a constant colleague in the fight to protect the rule of law, a beloved brother in the faculty of the Ateneo Law School, our commencement speaker, the Honorable Associate Justice Ramon Paul L. Hernando.
Please be seated. Thank you so much, Dean Joey Hovelenia. People versus Galugad is out of the pool of questions in the 2023 bar examinations. To Reverend Father Roberto C. Yap of the Society of Jesus, President of the Ateneo de Manila University, Dr. Maria Luz C. Vilches, the Vice President for Higher Education of the Ateneo de Manila University, to Dean Jose Maria G. Hovelenia, of course, of the School of Law, the School Registrar Ray Reyes, Associate Dean Maita V. Chan Gonzaga, Associate Dean Giovanni F. Valiente, to my former colleagues, the esteemed faculty of the Ateneo de Manila University School of Law, to the graduates of the Ateneo de Manila School of Law, to their special guests, joining them in today's ceremonies, to everyone here gathered, good afternoon. I would like to begin my address with gratitude. Thank you, Father Yap and Dean Joey, for the kind invitation to speak before you all, and for thoughtfully allowing me to take part in today's law school graduation ceremonies. I suspect, though, that Father Bobby and Dean Joey thought of inviting me today to speak before you to escalate the tension and pressure for the bar. One of the highlights of my teaching career was when I joined the Faculty of Law in Ateneo in 2015 upon the then kind invitation of Dean Sedfrey Candelaria. My years of teaching in Ateneo Law were, I dare say, some of my most fruitful years as a professor of law until it was interrupted, unfortunately, by my appointment to the Supreme Court in 2018. The Ateneo Law School was, in fact, my last stop in the academe before I was forced to immerse my full efforts in the judiciary as a magistrate in the highest court. In my years in your esteemed faculty, I had the fortunate privilege to mentor a considerable number of Ateneo alumni, and now a good 2 handfuls of them inhabit my legal staff in the Supreme Court. I am proud to declare that Atenean minds are some of my most indispensable assets in my work as a jurist. They run my office very smoothly through the rough roads in this journey in law at 10-speed gears, and certainly in excess of my expectations. Whether you already have realized it or not, you are now Ateneo alumni yourselves. You are not just a law graduate of any law school, but an Ateneo Law School graduate. May I therefore ask from you a round of applause for your school. As a way of thanking your professors here who all throughout your stay in law school have served you as your fundamental guideposts in your understanding of the law. I also take this opportunity to acknowledge the presence and pride of all chosen guests and loved ones of our graduates, as well as the unintentional absence of those who would have most wanted to be with them today. We celebrate them as your most loyal supporters, the people who have never doubted your success, even despite your occasional personal misgivings. The very special persons who have inspired you to reach this point in your lives. May I therefore likewise request for you to applaud them with the best and the most heartfelt cheers that you can muster. And as a last point of gratitude, thank yourselves for being here. Good things come not to those who just wait, but to those who persevere just like you. That diploma that you have earned is not a product of docile passiveness. Wins can be big or small in scale, but they are achieved due to a conscious effort to win. You may have been graced with a light stroke of luck in your stay in law school, but there are no accidents in true success. You are here not because you have just been lucky. You are here because you held on sleeplessly, persistently, and faithfully. And so, give yourselves a meaningful pat on the heart and a well-deserved round of applause for a job superbly done. Barely 2 months remain in your bar review. I am sure that you have your caudals copiously lined and annotated with various kinds of writing instruments, and its originally monochromatic pages are now so vibrantly colored with highlighters. I'm also guessing that your usual coffee intake of 1 cup a day have already increased to a cup per hour. Your years of stay in Ateneo Law should be sufficient, though, to power you through the 2023 bar examinations. But I know that you will still do all you can to drill into your minds all the laws and provisions that you can memorize and understand. But what are you studying and preparing for, really? And that is the question. Our primal answer to the question, what is law, would be a bunch of words formulated by somebody in authority, dictating some sort of order, the compliance with or violation of which, by its subject, would lead to binding consequences. A litany of rights, a list of obligations, and a slew of criminal penalties would automatically come to mind when you hear the word law. The Spanish civilist Sanchez Roman formally defined law as a rule of conduct, just and obligatory, promulgated by legitimate authority for the common observance and benefit. It does sound somewhat forceful, stoic, and harsh, as if the law is something that we must fear, and even technical to the non-lawyer. There is, however, more to the law than cold, robotic words, unquestioning obedience, and rigid technicalities. Roscoe Pound, a former dean of the Harvard Law School, said this in his brilliant but short written discourse on what is law. He said, "Law is more than an aggregate of laws. It is what makes laws living instruments of justice. It is what enables courts to administer justice by means of laws, to restrict them to their reason where the lawmaker exceeds his reason, and to develop them to the full scope of the reason where the lawmaker falls short of it." Dean Pound believed that law must be viewed in all its senses, and that the social purposes of law must be stressed more than its sanctions. I view these social purposes of the law as the heart of the law. One cannot really separate the law from the human element. Unfortunately, the human element is what is usually discarded in the practical application of the law. Perhaps we should look more deeply at the whereas clauses of statutes, the declarations of policy sections, the wisdom of the law as reflected in the deliberations of Congress, the pieces of jurisprudence applying the rule of equity. And if we were to look at our 1987 Constitution, where purely human concepts and virtues such as truth, justice, freedom, love, equality, and peace have been mentioned to ordain and promulgate the Constitution. While it is established that equity follows the law, in that equity will not be applied when there is a remedy in law, equity is the ink that writes the law and not what it serves. Our civilists even took the purposeful effort to enflesh in the civil code unwritten equity considerations into a set of legal provisions called natural obligations. You will, of course, find that in Article 1423 of the Civil Code. In labor law, some would comment how labor law jurisprudence would seem to flip-flop all the time. It is not that the court changes its mind on how to interpret the law. It is just that a single labor code provision would govern a number of labor cases with such hairline distinctions that the most microscopic detail in the facts would lead the court to a different judgment so as not to frustrate justice. This is the reason why technical rules of procedure are not binding in labor cases. In short, justice always trumps technicalities. The law has a heart, and its heart is justice. Social failures would unavoidably ensue if it were otherwise. That is, if we were to look at the law in all its abstract features. At this moment, I hope to urge you to not just wholeheartedly push yourselves successfully through the bar examinations, but to prepare yourselves for what is inevitably ahead, which is your life role as lawyers to live justice, breathe justice, do justice, and inspire justice at all times. At bottom, lawyering is a profession of compassion. When the written law falls short of compassion, you, as soon-to-be members of the bar, shall fill that void in the law with overt acts of compassion in whatever capacity that you will find yourselves in, whether in the public or private sector. After all, compassion establishes trust. Do understand that wherever you may end up in this profession that you have chosen, you will have to meet people of different standings in life, grips on power, levels of principle, and slides of the coin. Approach them without prejudice. Just as courts of law are also courts of equity, strive to be lawyers of equity. And you must go further. Be lawyers with empathy. Indeed, you may have a great level of legal knowledge, but without a greater level of emotional intelligence, you will never be able to forge that trust with the people that you will serve. So, do not stop at the logical bounds of the statute, especially when the prevailing realities are obviously and unreasonably unfair. Do not falter in choosing to do the right thing, even if you are alone in doing so. Remember that silence and inaction in the face of unfairness makes you complicit and accessory to such unfairness. But if someday, somehow, you get lost, confused, or tempted, please allow yourselves to be guided by your moral compass. I would like to mention a Jesuit principle that is both beautiful and instructive in this regard. And it says, go where there is a greater need. The greater need pointed out in that principle will most probably demand from you the exercise of self-sacrifice. and the skill to put yourselves and walk in the shoes of other people. It should not be enough that we are able to just understand and commiserate with a person's suffering. Our aim is to know their pain and find practical ways to relieve them of their pain. With life becoming harder by the year in this immensely competitive world, we tend to focus too much on ourselves. This is not to shine a bad light on the usual pursuit for self-improvement. That's far from it. All of us can always choose to do more, not just for ourselves, but for other people. Know that a lawyer, which you will soon become, will always be exposed to opportunities to do more for other people, even at the expense of your own preference. Take those opportunities whenever they present themselves. Go beyond the bounds of your personal convenience. After all, true freedom, according to St. Ignatius, is about being free of the self, about not putting yourself in the center. Bear in mind that the tiniest voices are usually the ones who must be heard. So listen to them, engage them in conversation, be genuinely interested in what they have to say. You may not be aware of it, but you are living in the world through the screens of your phones and social media. Every once in a while, I ask you to just look up and see, hear, and feel what is truly happening around you. And then reflect, evaluate, and act, if you must, all within the context of Jesuit educational values and best traditions. Beyond this, there is a treasure of insight to be gained when you immerse yourselves in the world's realities. Be wary that success, titles, and fame may change you. In what way or direction, it is entirely up to your discretion, but I do believe with all my heart that you will always discern and make the moral, authentic, and just choices. As a last note, continue believing in yourselves. For manifesting purposes, as how you youthful aspirants to the bar call it these days, memorize the new version of the lawyer's oath in the CIPRA and claim the title of attorney as early as now. As Taylor Swift would sing in her song, "Change, tonight we'll stand, get off our knees, fight for what we've worked for all these years, and the battle was long. It's the fight of our lives, but we'll stand up as champions tonight." And indeed, you stand here today as the champions that you truly are. Conquer that one big fight in September. Hold on to your faith, and I will see you all as champions of the 2023 bar examinations on December 22, 2023, which is the date of the oath-taking for this year's bar examinations. It will be, by the way, in the SMX Convention Center. which can hold and accommodate about 8,000 persons. Above all, I maintain my ultimate challenge to each one of you, and that is for all of you to be champions of social justice, unshackled truth, absolute freedoms, unconditional love, unthreatened peace, equality to all, and inequity to none. Again, my heartfelt congratulations, and please do enjoy the rest of this wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you, Associate Justice Hernando. As a token of our gratitude to our commencement speaker, the President of the Ateneo de Manila University will present to him a replica of the Sacred Heart statue carved by Dr. Jose Rizal. Jose Rizal carved the original image in baticulin wood with a penknife while a student in the Ateneo Municipal de Manila. It was placed on a shelf above the door of the study hall, where it remained for 20 years. In December 1896, after Rizal was sentenced to death, he asked for some Jesuit priest to come and visit him. Father Miguel Sadera Mata, rector of the Ateneo, and Father Luis Visa went to Fort Santiago, whereupon Rizal asked if the little statue of the Sacred Heart, which he had carved as a boy, was still at the Ateneo. Father Visa, who had brought the statuette with him, gave it to Rizal, who placed it on the table where he wrote the Mi Ultimo Adios. The original statuette, restored to the Ateneo, is now in the university archives in Loyola Heights. The candidates for the degrees of Juris Doctor and Master of Laws will please rise to be presented to the President of the Ateneo de Manila University for the conferment of their degrees.
Father President, I have the honor to present to you the candidates for the Juris Doctor and Master of Laws degrees. Since all candidates for graduation here presented have fulfilled well and faithfully all the requirements of their course, we request that you accept and admit them to the Juris Doctor and Master of Laws degrees which they have merited.
By virtue of the authority vested by the Republic of the Philippines in the Ateneo de Manila University, I accept the candidates presented for the Juris Doctor and Master of Laws degree and do hereby admit them to said degrees with all the rights, privileges, and obligations pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
As a symbol of your completion of the Juris Doctor and Master of Laws degrees, graduates, you may now don your hoods. And graduates, please move your tassels from right to left. And please face the audience to receive their applause.
To the members of the class of 2023, I would like to ask each one of you, when called, to come forward to receive your diplomas representing your academic degrees. We shall begin with those conferred the Juris Doctor degree. Rostom Villanueva Agapito. Anthony Lorenzo Masa Aguilio. Jackson Alex and Carlos Alcala. Basilio Gerardo Bernardo Apolinario VIII. Luis Rodolfo Castillo Arceo. Samuel Jofiel Dave Cadorniga Bacay. Don Marie Isabel Mendoza Balina. Aliana Cecilia Pajarillo Bantolo. Micaela Francesca Co Bele. Francis Sabin Casin Beltran. Sandra Karen Ebarle Bravo. Ian Angelo Mendoza Butasla. Binhi Aidan Viudes Canovas. Mona Sofia U. Casano. Francesca Paula Gamboa Casanova. Matthew Kapay Casis. Leslie Ann Manalo Castillo. Ria Alexandra Duca Castillo. Rachel Ley Escaño Coleado. Christian Lemuel Saldua Cruz. Sofia Anazea Arcinas David. Maika Laurel Pueblo de Guzman. Christine Angelique Galicia Descaliar. Danella Diane Del Rosario Di Mapiles. Alexandra Luis Tenorio Destor. Dorothy Saphirin Hadith de los Santos Dulnoan. Maria Antoinette Carrion Duque. Gabriel Baclig Esguera. Emerio Justin Gozon Garcia II. Daphne Marie Miranda Gomez. Thea Ruth Frances Nocon Gonzalez. Raida Argeli Galanza Grefiel. Abby Magusib Guzman. Freedom Justin Brania Hernandez. Isabel Grace Javier Osilios. Janina Aliana Lim Huang. Maria Isabel Havelosa Indunan. Vea de Goleado Josef. John Lim Hoves. Sean Patrick Chua Lee. Brian Earl Abaya Leshen. Adel Dea Guntalile Villanillo. Mikael Amiel Agustin Makasayag. Ramiel Christy Romero Magcalas. Catherine Nicole Casey Manuel. Paula Angela Lioshe Mendoza. Nina Catherine Calonzo Napala. Raisa Marie Baldovino Navata. Ariel Robin Tan Ong Chan. Mariel Joyce Ramos Orillos. Nicole Ann Kubakob Paglikawan. Luis Teodoro Badilio Pascua. Natasha Sofia Cruz Paz. Maria Ion Divina Gutierrez Peñafiel. Nicola Marie Basilio Petilla. Rina Vivienne Chua Pineda. Joseph Bill Pilos Quintos. Mina Grace Castillo Rafanan. Rodrich Ray Solis Rebolios. Rainiel Maran Macabante Relucio. Michael Frederick Cortez Respicio. Reynaldo Monfort Reveche. Wilfredo Escariaga Reyes Jr. Miko Al-Rashid Empredo Ringya. Anthalia Salvatierra Rodrigazo. Maria Margita Isabel Gonzaga Rodriguez. Jeremiah Tabing Ruaro. Isabella Cruz Sabio. Joseph Hadrian Joven Salgado. Gracel Treasure Antonio Samson. Joseph John Salonga Sanchez. Juliana Jimenez Soberano. Aliana Alex Barreto Sulaik. Christine Joyce Leyva Sumaway. Jesus Gabriel Viahar Sungkad. Julius Gabriel Maniago Takay. Ana Regina Lim Tagalog. By Sharia Lopez Tambuang. Miguel Ruiz Crescini Tan. Sebastian Leiva Tesorero. Michelle Terence Taduran Chu. Carl Rando Cabarubias Torregosa. Sarah Angela Joy Enriquez Trinidad. Margaret Janela Castro Villanueva. Anne Hilary Pauline Valencerina Villena. Let those of the class of 2023 who have been conferred the Master of Laws degree come forward to receive their diplomas. Zara Marie Bailon Absin. Christine Castillo Sonon. Lizelle Barzaga Ricasata Tan. June Gloton Tentativa. For having graduated with distinction, may we ask the following member of the Master of Laws class of 2023 to come forward with her loved ones to receive her diploma and academic award. Eileen Lorente Amor Bautista. The following members of the class of 2023 are asked to come forward with their loved ones to receive their Juris Doctor diplomas and academic award medals. For having met all the requirements for second honors, medals are hereby given to the following in ascending order. Maria Teresa Beatriz Nabong Jose. Gabriel Goles Tabeta. Vika Patricia Labuntog de la Cruz. Carlo Anton Juan del Mundo. Bianca Marie Panlilio Bautista. Anthony Jefferson Yap Julio. Harold Bryant Villamin Pasion. Elise Edlin Lee Cresini. Cara Denise Cabrera Nazario. Chelsea Bettina Lagman Monasterio. Joshua Rafael Vendiola de Jaresco. Ana Samantha Isabella Paulino Parungao. Phil Joseph Declaro Mendoza. Renson Marcos Alvior. Keone Neriel Cruz. Gabriel Agraviador Concepcion. Brian J. Vincent Ditok Go. Darian Marinela Aguilera Ortega. Melissa Gabriel Poe Remulla. Alisa Belio Ang Santo. Jewel Maliwat Kulala. Christian Gio Rosita Senarlo. Jeffrey Balesnomo Bajo. Pamela Ray Reyes Madrigal. Jasmine Riazon Briones. Zachary Nartea Duquilia. Marinela Melo. Monica Beatriz Absin Trinidad. Aina Ray Lim Cortez. Nicole Jimenez Salting. David Rafael Baclao Mariano. Andrea May Villa Lee. Michaela Luis Basa Yambot. Suato Tagoranao Mundir. Hans Richmond Ramirez Ong. Kyler Bon Aero Salmo Garma. Ann Maika Centeno Espion. Maria Josefina Mercado Concho. Stephanie J. Gonzalo Co. Janine Therese Claire Punzalan Espiritu. Noel Angelica Evangelista de la Cruz. Louis Emmanuel Gawaran Pagtakhan. Steffi Marie Santos Jacob. Alexander Odchimar Blanco. Anne Therese Miliado Villamin. Era Catherine San Jose de Roca. Maria Cristina Sim Asuncion. Jose Miguel Manzano Aranilla. Steffi Martina Sancho Valle. Albert John de la Cruz Reyes. Clarice May Dagan Zaplan. Joshua Andrew Kyle Go C. Jean Faith Tan Lim. Norberto Olavides Sarigumba III. Georgina Mia Banyes Gato. Cedric Daniel Severino. Morgan Kristen Mana Sacol. Nadine Francesca D. Ong. Nicolo Tibigar Rabago. Carl Matthew Ventura Navarro. Lumina Alinea Ong Aquino. J. Marie Kaagbay Martinez. Jeric Erwin T. Lim. Raishan Nicole Magadia Zosa. Micaela Aliana Quevedo Santos. Muhammad Ramis Tan Omar. Carlos Rosauro Nonato Manalo. Mark Joseph Padua Vivid. Eliza Ana Patricia Tanhueco. Steffi Gail Capili Buliaser. Brian Gerard Tapnio Antonio. Lyrene Gonzalez de los Reyes. Elijah Joseph Albino Mateo. Maya Freya Magallanes Co. John Erickson Tan Ledesma. Patricia Española Ramos. Carissa Mariel Silianco Enriquez. Jamie Lindsay Arevalo Cristobal. Ralph Christian Pulhin Rosales. For having obtained her Juris Doctor degree without registering any failing mark and with a cumulative general weighted average of 89.28%, the second highest in the class of 2023, the silver medal for academic excellence is hereby given to the class salutatorian, Jill Eileen Po Cabayos. For having obtained her Juris Doctor degree without registering any failing mark and with a cumulative general weighted average of 90.62, the highest in the class of 2023, thereby achieving first honors and cum laude status. The gold medal for academic excellence is hereby awarded to the class valedictorian, Janelle Natalie Ang Ko. A gift is also granted to this year's class valedictorian by the Gabriel C. Singson Family Foundation to acknowledge the perpetual pursuit of excellence and discipline in the field of law.
We now proceed to the presentation of the special awards. The recipients will please come forward with their loved ones to receive their awards.
The Evelio B. Javier Leadership Award is given to the member of the graduating class who, throughout his or her 4 years in law school, has consistently shown outstanding traits of moral and intellectual leadership. For this year, the Faculty of Law has decided to bestow this leadership award to Maria Margita Isabel Gonzaga Rodriguez. The Roberto A. Gana Service Award is given to the graduating student who, like Bobby, selflessly serves the underprivileged members of our society. In memory of Bobby, and in the hope that the awardee will follow his crusade to help the poor and the marginalized, the law faculty hereby confers this service award to Leslie Ann Manalo Castillo.
We now proceed to the presentation of another set of special awards. The recipients will please come forward with their loved ones to receive their awards.
The Dean's Award is given to the graduating students who have exhibited exemplary work in legal research and writing. For this year, the Dean's Award is given to the two best thesis writers. The medal for second best thesis is awarded to Sofia Anazea Arcinas David for her thesis entitled Danger, Hazard Ahead, a critique on the exercise of the right to refuse unsafe work under Section 6 of the OHSH law. The medal for the best thesis is awarded to J. Marie Kaagbay Martinez for her thesis entitled Taxation in the Transport of Passengers, Re-examining the Business Taxation of Transport Network Companies and Transportation Network Vehicle Service vis-a-vis the Certificate of Public Convenience requirement imposed by RMC number 070-15.
The class of 2023 will now take their pledge of honor to be led by Attorney Filomena Legaspi Rosales, President of the Ateneo de Manila Law Alumni Association Incorporated. The class of 2023 will please rise.
Good afternoon, everybody. Class of 2023, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Realizing that the calling to the legal profession is a noble task and sacred mission. Solemnly swear that in whatever capacity I may serve the legal profession. Whether as adjudicator or advocate. Whether for the prosecution or the defense. Whether in the public service or in the private sector. I will use the law solely as an instrument of justice and for the upliftment of my fellow men. I will follow my conscience no matter what the cost. And will not be swayed by pressure, pragmatism, promotion, or promise of wealth in the pursuit of justice. I will be guided not only but by what is legal, but by what is moral. Not only by what is permissible, but by what is equitable. This I pledge in recognition of the fact that when I chose the Ateneo de Manila to be my alma mater, I made a commitment to emulate St. Thomas More by being not only the King's good servant, but God's first. Thank you and welcome to the Ateneo de Manila Law Alumni Association. And congratulations, class of 2023.
Thank you, Attorney Rosales. Father Roberto C. Yap of the Society of Jesus, President of the Ateneo de Manila University, will now deliver his message and give a special benediction to the Ateneo Law School class of 2023.
Nothing is more exciting than seeing a new chapter unfold. And today, a new page in your life is being written. It is a blessed day, a happy occasion for the Ateneo Law School class of 2023. It has been a long and arduous journey, but you pressed forward with energy, resilience, and commitment. You studied, persevered, and thrived. I hope you are reveling in your accomplishments. You have so much to be proud of and be thankful for. And I am sure your family, friends, and loved ones are over the moon. Share this moment with them. You are here because of their support, encouragement, and sacrifices. I know they are beaming with pride and happiness because we at Ateneo de Manila University also feel the same. My dear Ateneo Law graduates, your journey is not yet over. Commencement, after all, is about beginnings. Your graduation marks the start of your work in this lifelong mission toward promoting the rule of law and a regime of truth, justice, freedom, equality, and peace. I am confident that you are ready for the forthcoming challenges of your legal career. I hope Ateneo Law School has strengthened your sense of mission and purpose. As a Filipino Catholic and Jesuit institution, the school's goal of imbuing its law graduates with skills in the science and art of the law, a burning passion for justice, and a fervent desire to serve others is manifested by the long tradition of Atenean lawyers being influential forces in the ranks of the judiciary, private practice, and in public service. Class of 2023, I hope that the same qualities that helped you through law school, the lessons, experiences, and values that you gained here at Ateneo will be the lessons, experiences, and values that you will lean on as you walk with the poor, with the marginalized and excluded, and those whose dignity has been violated. In your mission for reconciliation and justice, allow your Ateneo education and Ignatian values to be your anchor and wellspring. Before we part, please allow your university president to give you a final blessing, paraphrasing a prayer attributed to Thomas More, lawyer, author, and statesman known for his keen intellect, unwavering integrity, and patron saint of lawyers and civil servants. Ateneo Law graduates, please rise. Kindly bow your heads and pray for God's blessing. May the Lord grant you eloquence and accuracy as you practice your profession. May you remain honest and retain your integrity throughout your life. And may God always stand beside you in court and all the halls of law and justice. And may the Lord bless you and keep you. May He make His face shine on you and be gracious to you. And may the Lord turn His face toward you and give you peace. Amen. Amen. Congratulations, Ateneo Law School Class of 2023. Mabuhay!
Thank you, Father President. We will now sing the song for Mary, to be led by Christian Lemuel S. Cruz and Monica Beatriz A. Trinidad.
Between the earth and sky, now all is still, where Loyola's colors fly. Our course is run, and the setting sun ends Ateneo's day. Eyes are dry at the last goodbye. This is the Ateneo way. Mary, for you, for your white and blue, we pray you'll keep us, Mary, constantly true. We pray you'll keep us, Mary, faithful to you. Now from the hill down to the world wide, remember still how the bright blue eagles fly through joys and tears, through the laughing years. We sing our battle song. Win or lose, it's the school we choose. This is the place where we belong. Mary, for you, for your white and blue, we pray you'll keep us, Mary, constantly true. We pray you'll keep us, Mary, faithful to you.
Thus ends our commencement exercises. The audience will please remain standing until the stage party, the administrators, the members of the faculty, and the class of 2023 shall have left the room. Thank you, everyone.